All right, today we are diving into something called the Winter Arc Blueprint. It's this powerful idea about how you can quietly, but totally, rebuild your life and do it in just 90 days. It's all about using that season of, hibernation for some intense personal growth. Let's get into it.
But seriously, I want you to just sit with that question for a second. I don't mean in some vague, maybe one day kind of way. I mean, what if the next 3 months weren't just another season passing by, but were actually the launch pad for a whole new you? It's a real possibility. So here's the game plan. First, we're going to define what this 90-day shift is all about. Then, we'll get into the two main phases. First, rebuilding your inner world, and then mastering your outer world. And finally, we'll talk about how you can kick off your own winter arc. Okay, let's get right to the heart of it. What is this winter arc anyway? Because it's definitely more than just setting a new goal. It's a whole philosophy for making real, lasting change. And that number right there, 90, that is absolutely crucial. So why 90 days? Well, you've probably heard it takes around 66 days to form a new habit, right? 90 days gives you enough runway to not just start new habits, but to lock them in so they become automatic. It's short enough that it creates urgency. You can feel the finish line, but it's long enough to see some profound results. This isn't some forever project. It's a focused, all-out sprint. And this right here, this is the whole idea in a nutshell. Think about it. Winter is kind of the perfect time for this. Social events slow down, the world gets a little quieter, and we all kind of naturally turn inward. So while everyone else is distracted or winding down, you're in the lab working. It's a period of intentional hibernation, not for resting, but for rebuilding.
The entire blueprint is built on these 5 pillars. I want you to think of them as the step-by-step instructions for building that new identity. We're going to tackle them in 2 big phases, starting with the internal work, which is the absolute foundation for everything else that follows.
Look, before you can change anything on the outside, you have to fix the engine on the inside. This section is all about those first 3 pillars, the essential internal work that makes all the other stuff even possible.
It all starts here. This is ground zero. You just can't build a clear future if your mind is cluttered with junk. So this first pillar is all about decluttering your headspace to make room for what you're trying to build.
So how do we actually do that? Well, it's about subtraction, not addition. Unfollow the noise. Stop the endless doom scrolling. Mute the 24/7 news cycle. Every notification, every mindless update you check, it just eats away at your focus. The goal isn't to be ignorant. It's to be radically, intensely focused on the one mission that matters for these 90 days. Okay, so your mind's getting clear. Fantastic. Now you need a vehicle that can actually keep up. Your body is the engine for this whole transformation. And trying to do this while neglecting your health, it's like trying to win a Grand Prix in a beat-up car. It's just not going to happen.
Now, what's really interesting here is the link between the physical and the mental. Waking up early to work out isn't just about getting fit. It's a daily vote you cast for discipline. Eating clean isn't just about nutrition. It's about proving to yourself over and over that you can stick to your word. It builds the kind of personal integrity you're going to need for the much harder steps later on.
And this brings us to the final piece of the inner world puzzle. Once your mind is clear and your body is strong, you've got to direct all that energy with purpose. And that means you have to take complete, radical ownership of your 24 hours.
Just take a look at your calendar. Is it your calendar, or does it belong to everyone else's priorities? To really command your time, you have to audit every single hour. That half hour you spend scrolling on social media, that quick YouTube video that turns into an hour, if it doesn't serve your 90-day mission, it gets cut. You have to be ruthless. You're treating time not as something you have, but as a resource you allocate with surgical precision. All right, the foundation is set. Your inner world is solid. Now it's time to translate that internal power into real, tangible results that you can see and feel in the real world. This is where things get exciting. So you've created all this extra time and energy. Where does it go? The answer is not everywhere. No, you pour all of it into one single high-value skill that's going to act as a massive lever for your future. The key word here, the only word that matters, is focus. It could be coding, sales, graphic design, public speaking. Honestly, it doesn't matter what it is as long as it's valuable to you. For 90 days, you just go deep. You don't just read about it, you do it. You practice like your life depends on it. And why just one? Because splitting your focus is the fastest way to become mediocre at a bunch of things. This is about becoming truly dangerous in one specific area.
And that brings us to the final pillar. And honestly, this is the one that makes or breaks the whole thing. This is the gear shift. This turns all that prep work into real, undeniable progress. This is what we call execution mode.
I absolutely love this comparison because it is just so painfully true, isn't it? So many of us spend our entire lives just collecting maps, perfectioning them, looking at them, but we never actually take the first step of the journey. The winter arc is about walking the path, not just staring at the map.
See, execution mode is a mindset. It's when you choose action over endless analysis. It's about doing the work every single day, especially on the days you don't feel like it. Think of it like a snowball rolling downhill. Every small action you take adds another layer, building momentum until it becomes this unstoppable force by day 90.
So, there you have it. That's the blueprint. But listen, this isn't the end. This is the starting line. This is the beginning of your journey.
This quote, man, it just says it all, doesn't it? The work you do, it's done in private. It's done in the quiet hours when no one's watching. But the results of that work, the results are gonna be loud.
So let's just boil this all down. What are the big takeaways? First, real change is possible in a focused 90-day sprint. Second, the foundation is always your inner world, your mind, your body, your time. You have to get that right first. Only then can you build your outer world through a key skill and relentless execution. And remember, this isn't just some cool theory, it's a blueprint for action.
And that's it. We end on this, because really this is the only question left that actually matters. The blue part is right here, the time is now. So, what will you build?